You didn't tell me I was doing news today. I've not brought my guitar.
Are you joking?
No.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. I'm sorry, mate.
The news a dabba dee dabba die, a dabba dee dabba die, a dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die. The news a dabba dee dabba die, a dabba dee dabba die, 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 dabba dee dabba die. Headlines. The Fiend's long-term plans have reportedly been revealed. We have an update on an absent WWE Superstar's return date. And could this week's episode mark the end of 205 Live? So first up, we have a report from Wrestling News regarding the future of the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Last night, we saw him attack Braun Strowman. Absolutely fantastic stuff. They are saying people in the WWE are aware of the babyface reactions he's getting right now. How couldn't they be?
Yeah.
But I'm told there are no plans to turn him right now. It's an interesting sort of character thing because the things that he is doing are inherently heelish, aren't they? He's attacking legends and popular babyfaces also, but he's just so bloody cool.
Well, that's the thing, and people are just wanting Bray Wyatt to finally get a win, you know? Like, finally get one.
He's got a win. He's got a win. He beat Finn Balor.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, they're like cheering on him because he's actually
cool
finally getting to do something awesome again.
If you told me that a year ago that Bray Wyatt would be the most over...
thing.
In wrestling as a whole, he's absolutely...
You'd laugh yourself out of the room.
Yeah, totally. No, it's really, really exciting. He's not a babyface. I don't know if you can describe him as a heel when he's getting cheered so much.
Is it sort of like when
it's
Austin,
a heel character,
is it like sort of like when Austin turned heel and people still kept cheering him?
Sort of, yeah. Austin sort of became a tweener for a bit and then went babyface. I don't know. I feel like he is a heel. He's just so cool that you can't not cheer him. Seth Rollins is screwed here because he's meant to be the WWE's top babyface, the Universal Champion, and then he's going in there with the most over guy in wrestling. Seth's going to get booed.
Yeah, he's going to get booed. It's going to be the Rock Hogan thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's going to flip, and it's going to be really weird and really uncomfortable, and it'll be Bizarro land.
It's good though. I'm actually happy if this is the case that they're not going to just make him a babyface and just attack bad guys because I think that would take something away from him and the sort of the sinister nature. Look at that. We also have a bit of maybe bad news on Bray Wyatt while we're at it. So, Bray has been appearing as the Fiend at live events, and he's been coming out with the old Wyatt family style lantern. He scrapped the head.
Yeah.
He's coming out with the old lantern, which I thought was just such a cool thing. There have been rumours of it, and Bray, in fact, himself responded to some of these on Twitter, saying that you don't know anything, nothing's been changed. But now,
I think this is easily solvable. It's a house show.
Yeah, you think it's just because it's a more sort of more kids in the audience?
I reckon that lantern probably cost a fair penny. It's probably a one-of-a-kind prop.
Okay.
And I reckon that it rides with like various...
Vince himself.
No, I reckon it just goes into a flight case with a bunch of other stuff that has to be moved from venue to venue. And I think that it makes sense for them to just give him the old lantern back because from afar, at a house show, what does it matter? And you've got this really probably one-of-a-kind thing that you really don't want to get damaged, and it could get damaged very easily if it's getting used every night. I think it's literally just, it sits in a flight case with probably a couple of spare titles and all the other stuff they need, just in case. And then it makes sure it's there at the venue whenever he needs it. And that's what I think it is.
I think that's a really fair point. Yeah. The only thing that sort of went through my head was that, there's going to be more kids in the audience who are there to see the New Day or whatever. Yeah. Maybe they don't want to see a decapitated human head with his mouth wide open. Can you imagine
having to fly with that? How's he going to explain that in his suitcase?
Oh, come on. Jake had to take round bloody Damien.
This is my face, except it's been peeled off and stuck over a lamp. He'd be detained in every airport. Like,
you could put drugs in there, couldn't you? There's loads of room. Next up, we have a bit of an update on one Finn Balor, who is currently taking time off from the WWE to get married and shave his head and have a massive schlong. He has been announced now for WWE's upcoming Australian tour, which goes down from October 21st to October 23rd. We don't know if that means that he's going to be back on TV before then, after then, but he's going to be back competing for the WWE between those dates. Are you missing him?
It's hard to say because yes, I love Finn Balor. I think he's amazing. I just think that they don't really know what to do with him.
Sure.
And it's just sort of like, he's one of those guys where it's like Nakamura. If you took him away...
He's the IC champion.
Yeah, but I mean, if you didn't have the belt...
Sammy would have nobody to shout, Kinshasa!
But
no, I get what
you know what I mean? Like, there are several people where they are really incredible in-ring talents. They're captivating characters, but when there's nothing for them, or when they're just sort of on a standard run, you just take them out and they're interchangeable.
That's the thing. I did feel for a long time that he was just sort of stagnating in the mid-card.
And I hope that when he comes back that there's something for him.
Well,
that's all I want.
If the advertised match is anything to go by, you're going to be one very disappointed boy. Unfortunately, he is taking on Shinsuke Nakamura for the IC title. But you know what? That makes sense because they were feuding anyway. There's no point setting something new up on the house show and maybe ruining it.
Like the New Japan
yeah, sure. So he's going to be challenging Shinsuke for the IC title on those dates. If you go in, have fun. Will he still be bald?
He'll be bald, but it'll all be like perfectly round. Maybe he's just going to grow his hair out.
I reckon he did this so he could have hair plugs because he was thinning. He was doing a bit of a Zack Ryder thinning thing on top.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
I'm not having a go. It happens to the best of us, but. I hope he comes back with a full, like, Jackson 5.
Massive, like, long hair flowing.
Beautiful.
Anime style.
Next up, the new Raw logo was revealed on last night's episode of Raw. Let's take a look at the graphic now. There is Brock Lesnar. Isn't he a handsome lad? But ignore that. Look at that Raw logo. What do you think?
Yeah, just what I said about Brock being filthy. Yeah, the logo's filthy as well. Yeah,
I really like it. Genuinely, I think it's great.
I like it. It looks a lot less like the weird KFC branding we went to. I hope that goes away. That white and red, just flat colours. I really thought that was odd.
I kind of liked it.
I liked when they had the new logo, like the logo, the old one now, I guess. It was all in the Foundry, and it reminded me of like Warzone and all that stuff. And it was like being pressed into metal, and it was cool. And then it went sort of really flat and just flat colours, and it was a bit, And this one, it looks a bit more jagged, a little bit more like...
It's the same font, but it's just been messed around with.
Yeah,
and
it's been sort of twisted a little bit with the arrow pointing down, meaning it's gonna go down.
Down. Next week on the season premiere, Brock Lesnar has been announced. I believe Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are also going to be there, so get excited for those two men. And yeah, new logo. There it is. Next up, WWE seem to be experimenting with a brand new commentator. On this week's episode of Main Event, you will hear the voices of Vic Joseph, Dio Madden, and one Mickie James. Mickie James has joined the commentary booth here.
That's cool.
I think this is interesting because that was the rumoured Raw team there. Vic Joseph, Dio Madden.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the new... Are we going to see these three on Raw next week?
Possibly, but then what's Renee going to do?
Yeah, fair. I guess go to SmackDown.
Maybe she could be the person chairing the FS1 show?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the rumour as well, also.
Yeah.
I can imagine Mickie James being really good in this role. She's not somebody that springs to mind immediately when you think of great female mic workers, but she was always very strong on the mic.
Yeah, and she's got a long in-ring career to back it up. She's got all the in-ring knowledge and sort of the ring awareness, and
that would be really good as well. Because I always feel like with Renee, they don't give her enough to talk about. She'll say a few words and that's it. Get your soundbite in. So they've got a female voice on it. Whereas Mickie James could really lend something to that broadcast.
It's like if you look at Beth Phoenix on NXT, when she started off, she was obviously not quite ready for the role, and then over like several weeks she started improving, and now she just chimes in with she'll do some like gentle reaction stuff, but then she'll just chime in with some in-ring knowledge, and it's like, nice. And it's like really, really cool.
This also follows the news that Mickie James is being trained for a role as WWE backstage producer.
Yeah.
That also makes sense given her experience, a wealth of experience in the ring. And it's good to see that I would assume now that this means that Mickie James is winding down her in-ring career. I want to see one big last blow-off match, by the way, for sure. She absolutely deserves it.
Her versus Trish?
No, someone new over.
No, put Trish over.
Okay, yeah, fair. And yeah, I think this is great. They'll want to keep Mickie James around because she's a valuable asset.
Yeah.
No matter really what she does.
Yeah.
And finally, what appears to be some pretty bad news for one Samuel Driver especially. 205 Live, an announcement seems to be imminent. Brian Alvarez reported last night via Twitter. 205 Live announcement probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. This was about 12 hours ago now, so you can shave 12 hours off of those times. It's coming very, very soon. What's it going to be, Sam? I think we all know.
I think that this will be the final episode of 205 Live
this week.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The problem is they sort of telegraphed it last week on NXT because Lio Rush is now the number 1 contender despite not being anything to do with 205's main storylines.
Number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight title, of course, yeah.
So like it's already bent off and gone that way, even though there's all these people warring over the belt in 205 Live, and we've got all these storylines that have lasted for ages, like the Kendrick Tozawa stuff, and it's all been building to like a nice little, peak, and I'm just worried that this week is just that's all gonna be lost, and this week's just gonna be one of those weeks, and it'll probably end with Triple H coming out and doing a big promo and announcing it at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
And it's just sad because everybody, like 205 Live when it started off, got a bit of a bad rap, and I guess rightly so. Back in the day, it wasn't.
I think they had a hard time of it.
It was a hard time, and it just wasn't that engaging. But very slowly, it started clawing its way back. It puts on stellar in-ring matches every single week. There's barely a bad match. They've made me care about the Mike Maria storyline. Like Drake Maverick's fantastic. Just everybody involved with that division is unreal.
You're welling up here. Are you okay?
I'm just like really annoyed that it's going. And it's just going to be lumped into NXT.
And you think guys are going to get lost in the shuffle?
Yeah, I think they're going to split some of them off and send. It's an Adam's apple, mate.
It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. You can still watch cruiserweights everywhere.
Yeah.
Ricochet, Monday Night Raw. Don't you worry, little buddy. Thanks for watching the news. Hope you're not crying too. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.